What's crackin', folks? Stogies here, and I'm finally back with another video. I've been a busy bee, but I really wanted to make one, so I'm gonna do it. This story is a time I got too drunk. Now, I didn't get blackout drunk. This is before I started blacking out. This is when I was 16 years old, and I actually have zero clue what I'm gonna have for a gameplay in this one. It could be me fucking flying around doing nothing. I have no clue, but I'm gonna find something to put in the background for the video, so you'll know by now, I'm assuming. But yeah, so I was 16 years old, and I lived with my crazy ass ex-girlfriend. And in a very crazy house, crazy environment, a lot of crazy shit went down. A lot of crazies here. I'm not going to go in depth on the story there. I have endless stories with that, but I don't know if anyone would really want to hear those, because they're not funny, they're not me doing stupid shit. It's just mostly a lot of really fucked up shit going on. So yeah, we're just going to start this one at Walmart, where I worked at the time. So I just got in a fight, and I'm just wearing a white t-shirt, my jacket, my pants, and a backpack with a couple things in it, and that's all I have on me at the time. I showed up to Walmart. I was supposed to work that day, and I had just white shirt on, and it was covered in blood. I had about 50 little slashes and shallow stabs on my stomach, and 2-ish on my neck, throat area, and I walked straight up to the customer service counter where my manager was, and I was like, hey, I'm going to call out for today. And then she kind of looked at me all weird. She's like, but you're here. And I said, yeah, but there's not a chance I'm working. She looked at me, she saw the blood, and she's like, okay, weirdo. Probably looked pretty fucking crazy. But yeah, so I wasn't working, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know where I was going to go or what was going on. So I just went to the cart vestibule, because I was a cart pusher, and I just kind of sat there. And I actually ended up sitting there for the entirety of what my shift would have been before I found a ride and figured out what the fuck I was doing that night. So I ended up getting a family member, and they picked me up a half-gallon of Fireball because I was ready to get fucking swifty. And I went over to one of my friend's house, and we're just chilling. He has a very small room. He took a couple sips off the bottle, and I actually, being the monster I can be, I drank the entire half-gallon of Fireball in under an hour. It was probably roughly 45 minutes. And then I had the idea. I was like, yo, let's go to this kid's house. We've never been to this kid's house at this point in time. I ended up going there a lot later, but I knew he wasn't trying to chill for a while. So I hit up my friend JJ, and I asked him if we can pull up, and he's like, come on over. So I pull up at his house. So I get there, and neither of us have ever been to his house before, and it was a decent-sized apartment building. There was probably like 8 or so apartments in it. And I was quite the inebriated young man, so I had difficulties finding the door, knocking on other neighbors' doors, and doing stupid shit. But eventually he came out in the hallway and found me. We go up to his room, dap him up, and sit there, and we're talking about whatever for a couple minutes, and then I'm like, yo, you got weed? And he's like, brah, I got weed. So I had him go and roll a joint, and he rolls this joint, and I take 2 hits off it. And I guess that was the icing on the cake for me that day. And I just looked at him like, yo, guy, where's your bathroom? And at this point, I'm on FaceTime with 2 girls also. They're like hanging out together, and I'm on FaceTime with them. And I go to his bathroom, which is through his little sister's room too. I like stumble into there. I shut the door, and I go to take a piss. But then I realize I can't stand. So young Stogies, on FaceTime with these 2 girls, stumbles and falls onto the floor with my pants still down, dick flopping out. And at some point during this, I'm assuming they hung up, because I couldn't get up after that, and I just fell asleep. But I remember waking up for like a second and moving enough to pull my sweatshirt over my dick, because I couldn't get my pants up. It just wasn't happening. And then I went back to sleep on the floor. Next thing I know, it's, I guess, like 2 hours later, and I wake up to hearing this dude, turns out to be a stepdad, first time I met him. He goes, JJ, why is there a drunk guy on our bathroom floor? So I look up at him and the mom, and I just go, I'm not drunk, I'm sick. And they obviously could tell I was full of shit. I probably smelt like a bottle of Fireball myself. And the mom was all worried, and she's like looking in the toilet to see if I puked up any pills or what the fuck I was on. And she kept asking me like, what did you take? And I'm like, nothing, I'm sick. And then eventually I ended up, and I'm like, okay, I'm shit-faced, chief. Oh, there goes my speaker. Yeah, told her I was shit-faced. She was coolin' with it, but she does not like drinking in that house much. So they were a little upset. The stepdad mostly upset, and because the kid at the time I think was like 14 also. And I was just like, I'm good. I'm just gonna leave. And this whole thing was news to both of my friends in the other room because they probably were blitzed and actually just thought I left. They never went to check if I was still in the bathroom. So me and the original friend that I went there with were like, all right, we're dipping. And I fell down the stairs of his apartment, stumbled to the sidewalk, and he's on a hill and it's a pretty busy street. And I just fell down on the sidewalk and then just laid there and went to sleep. But luckily, my friend wasn't too keen on the idea of old snoozing stogies on the sidewalk. So he actually grabbed my phone and called up my mom and told her that I was trash sleeping on the sidewalk. So she gets up and comes over to scoop me. And I get in the car with her. My friend gets in the back. I'm ripping a jewel. It was a hoot. And I just remember I looked at my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm D-R-U-N-K, drunk. And then I just put my head down on the dashboard and fell back asleep. I wake up when we get to my house, because my house is like probably a 2-minute drive away. I get up and I go into my house for the first time in probably like half a year. And my bedroom that used to be my bedroom was no longer my bedroom. It was actually my little brother's. And he must have been gone. And my house is relatively ghetto. So there was a shoelace tied to the doorknob and then tied to the fridge, so the door would stay closed and like animals like the cats and shit wouldn't open the door. And I, for the life of me, could not figure out how to open this door and untie the knot. So I pulled my knife out of my pocket and I just chopped it. The door swung wide open. And I remember for some reason when I went outside, it was real cold at the time, so I had gloves on. And I just like fell on the floor and slept there right through the doorway with my like feet sticking out the door. I woke up the next morning, I only had one glove. I never found that other glove. And that was about it, honestly. Nothing too bonkers really happened. But I was just absolutely shit-faced. And that started a spree of utter shit-facery, actually. So, that wasn't too crazy, but I would like to say, my case is over in just over a week. Finally, it's been 2 years. And when that case is over, I will have some nut stories. Plenty of crazy shit that I can share with you folk. Endless amount of crazy shit. So, stay tuned for that, because that's when I'm really going to be able to start telling some of the fucking nuts ones. So, I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, a good old thumbs up and subscribe wouldn't be too shabby. If you didn't, on the other hand, thumbs down wouldn't be too shabby either. Oh wait, can you even do that anymore? I don't fucking know. Maybe they're just not shown. Well, you can thumbs down away if you want, though. If it's still there, thumbs down away if you didn't like it. But I hope you did. And if you did, check out some of the other videos. I'm quite the hooligan. Regardless, I hope to catch you all in the next video. Peace.